Hey everybody, it's Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. How are you guys? Today we are using the Here's to Love stamp set and the Fabulous Hello Irresistible Designer Series paper. It's a 6x6 paper pack with some pretty awesome patterns. And this is the card we're making, kind of a save the date, you're invited kind of card. I thought it would be really fun to use these colors that the bride and groom were choosing to have in their wedding and make it into a save the date card. So this is how I designed it, and on the inside they can print out their information telling people to save the date. I did do a little decorative border on the inside, so this section here could be printed on this piece of cardstock, and then you can add your border, and I think it would be a really fun save the date card. The bride's dress, I'm not sure if you can see it, but there is a wink of Stella on it, and it's really pretty. So let me show you how to make this card. I took a piece of 8.5 by 5.5 inch piece, Pretty Peacock, and scored down the center at 4 1/4. So we are going to burnish. All right. Then it has a piece of 5 1/8. I'm sorry, not 5 1/8, 5 1/4 by 4 of basic black. And the piece of DSP is 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. And isn't this gorgeous, this piece of designer series paper? The other side has this really pretty muted toned watercolor background, but I really thought this was really pretty. And so we're going to go ahead and grab my silicone mat. We will attach those two layers together. This paper is not in the catalog. It is an online exclusive available in my online store. So don't miss out on that. You can click the link in the video description and find the link. Oops, look at me gluing it to the wrong piece. Find the link to the online store. And for this particular product, the paper is called Hello Irresistible. All right, so there is that. Isn't it beautiful? Such a beautiful paper pack. So we're going to attach this onto our card base, which I almost prematurely attached the DSP there. I really have been enjoying working with this. I know this is only our first day together with this set, Here's to Love, but I really think that this set has a lot of great potential, and I hope that you'll stick with me all week. Most of my projects, in fact, all of my projects are on my website, inkyhandswarmhearts.com. Only some of the videos are located here. I don't necessarily do a video for every project, but there is information on my website, excuse me, for the projects that we do. So we have here our bride and groom. And so I just have a scrap piece. This is Lost Lagoon. You can see how it matches really well with that designer series paper. This is the peacock, and the Lost Lagoon is the color in the background. So what we are going to do here is make our little bride and groom right here. So they're two separate stamps. So that's kind of cool to know. So we are going to stamp our guy on our piece of Lost Lagoon cardstock, and then we're going to mask him, and we're going to stamp our bride over the top. Stampin' Up sells a masking paper. It's pretty awesome. This is what it looks like. You get 12 sheets. They're 5 by 7. And they have pullbacks, I'll show you. So you can stamp on one side, not the side that has the removable backs, but the opposite side. You can stamp on these sides and then cut out your images and use them as masks, or like how we use Post-it notes. But what's nice about these is because you get a bunch of them, they're a nice large size. You can use them, they're pretty good adhesive, so you can use them over and over, and they don't break apart with the wetness of the ink like a Post-it note would do. So definitely check out that Stampin' Up! Masking paper if you've never used it. I'm going to bring this down a little bit because I need to be able to see. And we're going to start with our groom. All right, so we're going to ink him first. And I'm going to grab a scrap paper and keep that on my desk. So I just need to grab that and put it underneath just in case I go outside the lines. And we're going to place him first on this piece here. And these are rather large stamps. I had to use the eye block, which is this longer block to fit them on there. There's a shorter one, but it's not quite this wide. So there he is, all stamped. Actually, I don't like how he's blurred, so I'm going to try on the other side. I think I wiggled him a little bit. Let's try again. And you can see that I'm bringing my ink pad to my stamp. I do that when it's a larger stamp. Okay, let's try this again. So we're going to go ahead and stamp him down on this end here. And then I'm going to just try and lift him straight up so I don't get any kind of rubbing. Perfect. That turned out much better than the first time around. All right, so let's clean him and get him out of the way. Then we will put the mask on the stamp. And so how I made the mask was I went ahead and stamped the groom on the piece of masking paper. And then I die cut him out. Well, not die cut, I fussy cut him out because there's no die cut for the stamp set. So I just went around and I tried to be really careful to get right up to the black line all the way around him. Okay. And then I peeled the paper off. And so I'm going to leave this side on. It doesn't need to be peeled off because this is the side that he is going to be copied. And I'm going to go ahead and attach him down and just overlay that image. Okay, so he's covering that up. When I stamp the bride over the top, it's going to make her look like she's in front of him. Okay, so let's go ahead and ink her up also in Memento Tuxedo Black. I think I said basic black ink, but I didn't mean to say that if I did. It's Tuxedo Black Memento. So now we're going to figure out where we want to place her. And so I wanted her to be a little shorter than him. So I didn't want her up here like this. I wanted her down. And I wanted her hand like if they were holding hands on one side or the other. So I just tried to figure out where would be the best place to place her to make her a little shorter than him and like if they were, you know, touching hands. So I'm going to place her right here. Hopefully I don't wiggle her. If I do, we'll just get another piece and try again, but I think we're good. There she is. So now she's stamped, and when I remove my mask, it's gonna look like she's in front of him. Okay. So there's my couple. I'm gonna clean her, but first I'm gonna put my backing back on my groom so I can use him over and over again. That's the beauty of the Stampin' Up! Masking paper, is that you can put your back on and reuse it over and over. All right, so let's clean her, and then we're going to put Wink of Stella on her dress and all that fun stuff. I'm gonna fussy cut the couple out. So we're gonna start over here. I'm gonna come in. All right, and we're gonna work on one side. And I just want a small border around the two of them. I'm gonna rotate and work my way down. And around his hand. Actually gonna bring his hand up and make it easier for me to see. And around here. That's the hardest part, going in where that arm is. The rest of it is pretty simple. I like that this wedding couple are two separate images, because while it can be a little bit problematic or a little bit more effort when you want to stamp them together like how I have done, it also gives you other options to use them separately for other cards. So I am pleased that they're two separate images. And you can see it's not that hard to fussy cut the two of them together. Like I said, the hardest part was going in there where he had his little arm set. And now we're just working our way around the bride's head. And then down her side, and we'll be good to go. And I'll show you how I attached, how I put the Wink of Stella on there. I wanted to use a really light hand. I didn't want it to be overly shimmery. I just wanted it to be subtle. All right, so there she is. And I want to cut out, I believe this little section here. So we have these tools, they're kind of cool. They're called Take Your Pick Tool Crafter Tips. And there is one with an X-Acto blade. So what you do is you unscrew the putty end, and you just put the blade on there, and then now you have an X-Acto blade. I'm going to grab a mat. I prefer to use a glass mat when I am cutting with an X-Acto knife. For me, it's much easier. So I'm just going to come in and hold on to the tip here and just really delicately work my way down and into these spaces. It's a very easy X-Acto blade to hold on to, and I love that it dips in. It also, it gives me just that tiny little precision cut. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove this blade from my piece because we're going to need the putty end in a little bit, but it's nice to have these interchangeable parts. And this is a pretty cool product. You have some additional tools that come in this. If you need information, I did go over the Take Your Pick Crafters tip a couple weeks ago. So if you need more information on those, just check them out at inkyhandswarmhearts.com. Just type in Take Your Pick Crafter Tips and in the search bar of my website, and it should pop up. Okay, so what I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and grab our Wink of Stella pen, and I am going to add or pretend to color, but I'm using a really light hand. I don't want it to be overly sparkly. And little by little filling in the dress. And as it dries, it will lighten, and all you'll be left with is the sparkle. I'll show you my finished one. Hopefully you'll be able to see that subtle Wink of Stella. So there it is. There, you can see it right there. The sparkle in her dress. It's really pretty. All right, so let's figure out what we're gonna do with this happy couple. We're going to use some dimensionals. And we're going to go ahead and get them ready to be lifted up off of my project. You just have to do whatever works for you. On this long piece here, I'm just going to use the edges of one that's already used up, and that'll give me support there and I won't have to worry about it. And then I'm going to also use another piece of edge right here on this side. The sides are the most important. You really want there to be nice support. All right, so let's pull these guys off. We'll set our bride and groom on our card. All right, let's add them. We're going to place them on the left bottom section. We don't want to cover that black border. We want that to show. So we'll place them right about there. That looks good to me. So now we're going to work on the You're Invited label that goes right up here at the top. So let me see what the measurements are. I can't remember off the top of my head. I've created this a while back. So it's 1 1/4 by 2 1/2. And we're going to do a little bit of cutting on this side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and find my center, and I'm not going to go very deep. I don't want this to be a very deep cut. So I just want to follow from the corner to that cut. And then I'm going to do the same thing from the other side, from the corner to that cut. And I'm just going to make sure that we're cut all the way through, just a little snip at a time, and make sure. There we go. So that gives us a very slight, I want to make sure that that's straight. It looks a little crooked to me. There we go, much better. So that is our little cornered piece. I'm going to go ahead and throw the scraps away. And then I have already fussy cut the words You're Invited. They were stamped on Pretty Peacock, and I didn't want to take the time to fussy cut. It would take a little while to get that done, but we're going to glue that onto our label piece right here. So I'm just going to use the wet adhesive. I'm going to use just real gentle dots of glue. You don't need a ton, just a little here and there, just to adhere this piece, especially around these intricate curvy spots. This glue is really strong. That's one of my favorite things about it. And I think that just these little dots of glue are enough to hold it down and keep it in place. All right, I just have one more here, here, and here. All right, now I'm gonna use my tweezer so I don't get any of that glue on me. And we're gonna place it onto this piece. Oh, this is so pretty. You're invited. Let me make sure it's straight. I'm happy with that, I think. What do you guys think? It looks pretty good. So we are going to lift this up as well. And so I am using a length of this beautiful ribbon. It is Stampin' Up's Lost Lagoon bordered ribbon. It's 1/4 inch wide. And it is about 7 inches long. And all I'm going to do is kind of cross these like this and place it down. And then where that piece of our label's gonna go, I'm just gonna cut a length. And I'm gonna place that right here. That will hold it down and also give me a nice lift for my piece. We're also going to put some on either side. And then one on the end there. And then of course I'm going to use the minis. I'll show you if I can get them. We'll put one in each corner. I love my dimensionals. I don't know what I would do without them. I like all of the sizes. I love that I can customize them by cutting the edges. It just makes me happy. All right, so let's pull those off. All right, we already know that we have a piece for the center, and we're going to place this on, making sure that we don't cover that black edge on this side as well. I'm going to drop it a little bit. Oh, I forgot to pull the back off of this one. Drop it down there so that we have a nice loop at the top. There we go. You're invited. And there is our ribbon. The finishing touch for this fabulous project are the loose frosted dots. They are also an online exclusive, and you get a bunch. Let's see if it tells me on here. It does not. I thought it would tell me, but there's a bunch in here. Oh, actually it does. 260 or something? Yeah, a lot. Look at how pretty they are. We're going to use the blue ones, so I'm just going to put dots of glue where I would like to put my embellishments. So I'm going to put one here, one up here, and then we're going to put two here. One, and then another one next to it. Okay? So 4 dots of glue. This is where the take your pick tool putty end. I like to always make sure that it's nice and shaped. We'll start with the large blue one over here. And then we'll put a medium one if I can find one. There we go, on here. Actually, that one's kind of small. Let's put it down here. I wanted a little bit bigger one. Let's see. There we go, this size. I think there's 4 different sizes, maybe. I'm not 100% sure, but we need one of the babies. I gotta find one. There we go. And I want to put that one over here. And we just want to use the tip of the pointy. Stick that down. And make sure that these little guys do the right thing for me. This one, I think I'm going to put another dot of glue on. I think I moved it too much and I've lost my stickum. I'm going to put another little dot right there. There we go. I'm happy with this. I think it's pretty. I might have gone a little smaller if I had a second chance on this one. I think this one's a little bit too big, but that's okay. I second guessed myself, and sometimes that happens, but no one will know, right? Only you and I. All right, let's do our inside of our card. We're going to put a piece of 4 inches by 5 1/4 of Lost Lagoon. And then this is 3/4 of an inch by 5 1/4 of an inch. So we'll glue that one on first, and then we'll attach the whole piece together. And I just cut this off of the excess since this is a 6 by 6. I think I put a nice size border. I did. Since this is a 6 by 6 paper pack, you need 1 piece in order to make your card front. 1 piece of the paper. But there we go. And now we will attach this on the inside. Of course, it would be printed with all of the details prior to attaching it inside the card. All right, I think we're done now. That looks pretty fantastic. I'm happy with this card. Let's bring in all of the fun things that we used today. So we used the Here's to Love stamp set, the Hello Irresistible Designer Series paper, and don't forget about the star of the show, the masking paper, and of course, we did put in those Take Your Pick crafter tips. So I hope that you enjoyed this project. I will see you here on my YouTube on Tuesday night for a video live stream. I hope that you'll join us. And thanks for being here. This is Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. Happy stamping, guys.